If you're doing these things with your paycheck, then you're losing money every single month. But it's not because you're overspending, or because you don't make enough money, or because inflation is making everything more expensive. In fact, some people making six figures make these exact mistakes every payday. The worst part is that it feels completely normal. Most people have been doing them for so long that they never stop to question it. It all comes down to what happens during the first few hours after a paycheck hits your bank account. Small decisions that seems harmless in the moment, but can determine whether you move closer to financial freedom or stay trapped living paycheck to paycheck. And that's exactly what we're covering today. By the end of this video, you'll learn a simple budgeting system specifically designed for people living paycheck to paycheck and how to avoid making mistakes keeping you broke after payday. Let's get started. So let's break it down. You get paid on Friday, and by Wednesday, you're already checking your bank account wondering where all your money went. You promised yourself this paycheck would be different. You were going to save money, pay off debt, and finally get ahead. But then rent came due, your electric bill hit, your car needed gas, groceries cost more than expected. And before you know it, you're counting down the days until the next paycheck arrives. But the problem isn't always income. For decades, financial experts have told people that living paycheck to paycheck is caused by overspending. Spend less, cut expenses, skip the coffee, cancel subscriptions, stop buying unnecessary things. While that advice isn't completely wrong, it doesn't explain the psychological spending patterns and poor cash flow management that causes people to run out of money. Behavioral finance and psychology researchers challenged the common skip your coffee advice in the Business Insider report, proving that financial success is less about sacrifices and frugality and more about identifying and fixing the biggest money leaks in your finances. Most people are trying to save $10 while losing thousands. Step 1. Calculate your real take-home pay. The first step is figuring out exactly how much money you bring home. Not your salary, not your hourly rate, not your gross income, your actual take-home pay after taxes and deductions. This is called your net pay. Let's use an example. Imagine Sarah earns $3,000 per month after taxes. Her budget begins with that number. $3,000, not $1 more. This becomes the foundation for every financial decision she makes. Many people accidentally budget based on money they hope to earn from overtime, bonuses, side hustles, or commissions. Never budget money you don't already have. Budget only the money that reliably enters your account. Even high-income earners often struggle because they budget based on expected income rather than actual available cash. MarketWatch reported that a shocking percentage of people earning more than $300,000 live paycheck to paycheck and burn through cash faster than low-income earners as a result of this. Now, it's time to identify your essential expenses. Think of these as survival expenses. Let's continue with Sarah. Her monthly take-home income is $3,000, rent $1,200, groceries $400, utilities $200, gas and transportation $200, insurance $150, phone $50, debt payments $300, total essential expenses $2,500. This means Sarah has $500 remaining. Notice something important? She didn't start with entertainment, vacations, subscriptions, or shopping. She started with survival. That's exactly what you should do. This is where most people make a major mistake. They see $500 left over and assume they can spend it however they want. Instead, every dollar needs an assignment. This is called zero-based budgeting. Let's allocate Sarah's remaining $500. Emergency fund, $150. Unexpected expenses, $150. Household expenses, $100. Entertainment, $50. Personal spending, $50. Now all $3,000 are accounted for. Income minus expenses equals zero. That doesn't mean she has $0. It means every dollar has a purpose. This next tip alone will completely change your finances. If you live paycheck to paycheck, stop budgeting monthly. Budget paycheck by paycheck. Here's why. Most bills don't arrive at the same time. Imagine you're paid every 2 weeks. You receive $1,500 per paycheck. Instead of creating one monthly budget, create 2 paycheck budgets. Paycheck 1, rent, utilities, groceries, gas. Bum paycheck 2, insurance, phone, debt payments, savings. Behavioral finance studies show that spending behavior often changes immediately after receiving income because people perceive themselves as having more available money. This is one reason paycheck-based budgeting can be more effective than monthly budgeting. One reason people stay trapped in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle is because every emergency becomes a financial crisis. According to financial planning experts cited by Reuters, more than 20% of Americans have no emergency savings. Only 46% have enough savings to cover 3 months of expenses. The tire goes flat, the car battery dies, the dog gets sick, the water heater breaks. Without savings, these expenses go straight onto a credit card. That's why your first goal isn't investing. Your first goal is creating a small emergency fund. Even saving $25 per paycheck adds up. Let's do the math. $25 per paycheck, 26 paychecks per year. That's $650 saved. $50 per paycheck becomes $1,300 annually. Small amounts create big results when repeated consistently. Most people think their problem is income. Sometimes it's spending leaks. Money leaks are expenses that seem small individually, but become enormous over time. Time magazine explained how digital payments, subscriptions, and unknown spending reduce the psychological pain of spending and encourage higher consumption. In simple terms, it's saying that the easier it is to spend money, the less your brain notices you're spending it. Think about the difference between paying with cash versus tapping a credit card. When you hand over $50 to the cashier, you physically see the money leaving your hands, so your brain feels the loss, and you think, do I really want to spend this? But when you tap your phone, swipe a card, or click buy now, that feeling is much weaker. The money leaves your account, but it doesn't feel as real in the moment. Example, a $15 monthly subscription doesn't feel like much, but after a while you're suddenly paying Netflix, $15, Spotify, $12, Disney Plus, $16 cloud storage, $10 gym app, $15. That's $68 per month. Over a year, that's $816. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy these things. It means being keenly aware of your spending and where you're allocating your money. Most people save what's left over after spending. Unfortunately, nothing is usually left over. Instead, pay yourself first. The moment your paycheck arrives, move money into savings immediately. Even if it's only $10, the habit matters more than the amount. So what do you do if your expenses exceed your income? Now let's address the reality many people face. If that's your situation, budgeting alone won't solve the problem. You need both expense reduction and then and only then, income growth. Federal Reserve Household Financial Well-Being Report found that many Americans continue to experience financial stress despite broader economic growth, highlighting that income challenges are often structural rather than personal failures. Start by asking 3 questions. Can I reduce housing costs? Can I reduce transportation costs? Can I reduce food costs? These 3 categories usually consume the largest percentage of income. Once you've mastered cash flow on a small income, then you can focus on increasing earnings. Put in some extra hours at work, a side hustle, a certification that leads to higher pay. Remember, cash flow management helps you manage money. Increasing income helps you create more money to manage. When future bills, expenses, and financial obligations are unclear, even a healthy income can feel insufficient. That's why the most important shift isn't earning more. It's knowing the difference between a spending problem and a cash flow problem. Once that happens, you'll instantly begin to feel more financially stable. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who's living paycheck to paycheck today.